The first step for creating your pinball machine is figuring out what height you want your pinball machine to be. The height is going to determine the angle, and the angle is going to determine how fast your gameplay is. If you have it totally level like it is now, it's pretty boring. The pinball doesn't want to move at all, so it makes for a pretty boring game. My favorite height is somewhere between the height of one of these Dixie cups and the height of one of these toilet paper tubes. The Dixie cup height leads to a pretty good level of gameplay that's pretty playable. And the paper towel height leads to gameplay that's very quick and might be a little hard to keep up with. One good way I've found for adjusting the height to exactly what you want is by cutting a notch in a paper towel tube like this. What can happen is that notch can then go right into the corner of the pinball machine. You can hot glue or tape that connection there, and that's going to give a nice stable support for your pinball machine. You can do the same thing with the Dixie cups just by cutting into the rim, and then you have a little more support where you need it on the backside of the pinball machine. Another thing you can do today is start to experiment with some obstacles. I wouldn't do anything permanent yet until your plan is really finalized, but you can try playing around with the pegs and the rubber bands and making rubber band bumpers. You can try playing around with the 3D printed parts, or you can try playing around with pieces of cardboard. Egg cups are also a good way to create obstacles, but once again, I wouldn't do anything permanent. Just play around and see what interesting mechanisms you can figure out. 2 questions I'm going to leave you with today is, why does the ball move when you tilt up your pinball machine? The second question I'm going to leave you with is, how does the tilt change how the pinball moves? So a small tilt leads to something different than a really great tilt. What is the difference there, and how would you characterize it? Lastly, don't forget to share your designs on Padlet so we can see them before the next class starts. Have a great rest of your day.